So this is actually going to be most likely a short video, but an interesting video in the fact that we are going to be highlighting and talking a little bit about what have we learned. Yeah, what did we learn on this last summer's travel? So we're going to get into that.
I want to slow down.
Well, we'll talk about it right after this. So basically, yeah, I think the first thing that as we were analyzing and looking over what we did okay on distances. We only had a couple of long
days.
We only had a couple of long days, but we were too short.
But I think
stays.
Too short in stays. I think in a lot of our places we could have stayed a little bit longer. Some places we might have stayed a little bit shorter.
I mean, I'm looking at this right now. We did
a lot.
We had 3 days in Tombstone, 3 days in Carlsbad, 3 days in Fredericksburg. I mean, I realized we wanted to get
5 in San Antonio, but that was with my family.
Yeah, we wanted to get some distance between us. Yeah. But then 4 in Austin and 4 in Houston. So it was a lot of pack up and go stuff. And truthfully, that tires you out.
It does. It really does. Even the dogs were like, again. Anyway, it was just too fast paced. And I'm glad because we were talking about going all the way up.
Well, yeah, we were talking about pushing it all the way up to Maine.
No, that would have been too much.
And that was way too much. I'm glad we cut all that out.
Here's the point. We're retired. We don't have to be pushing so hard.
Being full-time, we're still not full-time because we winter in Arizona and we're still doing the work camp thing here in Arizona. Mm-hmm. So we do have to be back here for 6 months out of the year, and we're traveling for 6 months. And that seems like, wow, that's really incredible. And it is, but if you try to do too much in one summer, it can be overwhelming. So when you think about it, we were doing a 5.5, 6 month tour, stopping and moving like every 3 to 4 or 5 days. Yeah. We only had a couple of longer days. In fact, 5 days in New Orleans, which was actually kind of nice. And
7 days at Walt Disney World.
But 7 days in New Orleans would have been great.
Fast-paced because you're getting to the parks and you're doing all this stuff.
Right. And I think we did a recap of Disney World, and I agree again.
Yeah.
Get over sticker shock, stay longer, but don't go to the parks every day.
We
Yeah,
go park in between.
Yeah, that's just to reiterate.
I would have liked to maybe spend a little more time in St. Augustine. We were there 4 days. I would have liked to spend a little more time between there and maybe Charleston.
Now another great one too, and I know in our notes I put down here Cape Canaveral, but we're talking Cocoa Beach.
Cocoa Beach, yeah.
Cape Canaveral, 4 days if all you're doing is seeing the Space Center, but just to kick back on the beach, I would have loved to just spend the day relaxing on the beach.
Yep. Kind of seen a little more of Cocoa Beach. Maybe going back to that awesome restaurant again. Thank you, Ann.
And St. Augustine. Yeah, we got rained out a day there. We still tried to travel around in the rain.
One place we spent probably too much time in was Boone.
But truthfully, that was more of a stop off to get to Mount Airy, which we only spent 3 days there too.
Yeah.
So 3 days in Boone, 3 days in Mount Airy.
I think really Boone would have been okay for 2 days. And maybe an extra day in Mount Airy just to relax because it was a beautiful site. We had a beautiful campground. The people in Mount Airy are just really fantastic and wonderful people.
Campground.
It was
so
beautiful.
Clean.
Beautiful campground.
One thing that I do want to point out too, we did a lot of Civil War and Revolutionary War early American sites, and I have to admit the highlight of
Atka, sit down.
The highlight of the Civil War sites was awesome.
We weren't going for something like that. It just kind of morphed into this Civil War places to see, and then it kind of went into civil rights.
Yeah.
So it was, and that wasn't really what we started out to plan. It was just places to see. It just kind of
happened.
And the way
happy
it happened,
accident.
Yeah, I would say extremely happy accident because to me the highlight of I think this vacation, honestly, people would say, "Oh, Walt Disney World." No, to me, it was the Civil War. We're trying to hold this down.
We have a dog that's trying to walk under the tray that the camera's on.
It was the Civil War and civil rights. And you asked earlier, where would I go back to and spend more time? Gettysburg.
Yes,
absolutely. Gettysburg. But it was so epic in battle. I think that was it.
A lot of the areas are well preserved.
Yeah, extremely well preserved.
it was interesting going there and actually seeing and being there where all this happened and kind of feel the essence of that. And
having experiences there.
And to be honest, I think it got real personal for both of us at Shiloh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was some but there was a lot of powerful feelings, powerful energy, both at Gettysburg and Shiloh.
And I want to say Appomattox, where the Civil War actually ended.
Yeah.
And people don't talk about Appomattox. And it's a place, the town is like this big. And it's an old town. It's a neat town. There's not a lot to the town itself. But when you look at where Appomattox and travel and go through where the Civil War ended and take a look at that, I think a lot of people bypass Appomattox and don't do that.
It's an interesting location because
it's not what you expected it to be.
It's
really.
Though for Northerners, for the preservation of the Union, yes, it's a very important, very happy place. But it was also a place where the South had to acknowledge defeats. That's a hard thing to do.
And their museum there is
but
fantastic.
I'm glad I was. Now, you didn't get to walk with me back into that grove of trees.
No. Oh, I was so tired.
I went back into the grove where General Lee had his last encampment. Very interesting place, and a lot of people bypass that grove. They don't. A lot of people don't stop. I mean, I was like the only one there. There was not even that many people on the grounds of Appomattox.
It is history, and I believe we need to have history. We need to know our history.
So interesting places. I love those. Philadelphia was awesome. Kind of the birthplace of our democracy. Seeing those places where the Declaration of Independence was written.
Yes.
Where the first Congress was held. Where the first all that stuff. Just so fascinating.
It was interesting sitting in, like you said, the first Congress and thinking and looking back at, pictures we've seen as kids and books and this thing. And picturing all of this in this room is just phenomenal.
We're actually there. Where the history was made. I think that is invaluable. That we got to hang on to that. We got to visit those places.
Yes.
You got to see those.
You're paying on its history. We do.
Oh yeah.
We need to do the same thing.
Right. It was fun getting up into Elkhart, that whole
area. Oh, I loved it.
The Indiana Amish country, Shipshawana, and getting
it was
a chance
such a great little
Keystone.
town. I love Shipshawana.
Yeah, but visiting Keystone, I mean, Alyssa and Christine, my gosh, I'm so excited to see you guys again this coming summer.
Yep.
It was
we
just
had so much fun taking the tour and meeting everybody. Whether you have a Keystone or something else, if your product does tours,
take the tour, go see how it's made.
See how these things are made because it's absolutely fantastic. If you want to know about Keystones, even if you don't have one, go see how these are made because they are fantastic.
Oh, it's awesome.
The innovations they're coming up with and everything. Yep. We're going to have some more on that hopefully this summer. We can't wait.
Yeah, spring, spring, early summer. Yep, that was a lot of fun. There's some places here that we were just there and it's like, wait, what did we do in Lexington, Kentucky? Well, it was fun. We saw some things
Atka.
there. He's kind of pushing me here. Pigeon Forge, crazy place.
Oh my gosh. We happened to be there the weekend of a Jeep rally.
So I
don't think I've ever seen so many Jeeps in one place.
Yeah, don't do that.
But I really like Pigeon Forge. You've got the old with the new.
Right.
And it's really kind of cool. It has great shows. The Dolly Parton.
Those shows were interesting.
That was great.
Now, another turn that we took, which actually was kind of cool, was taking an opportunity to visit with family and old friends.
Yes.
And that was awesome. Last year, we visited with some of your old friends and family in Washington.
In Washington.
And this year,
I got to see Bill, my high school meeting
up with, this is basically my high school brother, Gary. I mean, what an awesome person Gary is. And I love him dearly, love his family dearly. They're just super people. He and Susan awesome
are
hosts.
just, I love Susan. She's great. We had the best conversations.
And then meeting, once again, we started out, last episode you saw with Ann and Michael, meeting up with them in Oklahoma. And then all of our family in Arkansas. That was so cool.
What an experience.
So much fun.
And finding cousins you didn't know you had.
That's true. Met a cousin that I didn't even know I had. Well, I knew I had, but I never met them before.
Never met them.
I've got so many cousins.
Didn't even know of them, but
I got so many cousins in the back hills of Arkansas, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing. If and when you travel, do not go to chain restaurants. taste the local food.
Absolutely.
That right
Absolutely.
there. So with everything else said, all the historical stuff was cool, and then we got the dog.
Atka's trying to get in
him on
yes,
camera here in a minute.
Yes. He's trying to give his 2 cents.
Yeah, he's trying to remind us of what about all the doggy parks? Talk about the doggy parks. Okay.
Talk about the doggy parks.
No, we're talking about the restaurants. And I mean, we went to some really awesome places. You know, even starting from the very beginning with Tombstone and Fredericksburg, some great places.
Yeah.
San Antonio.
Oh, great food.
Austin and Houston. Every place we went.
Well, I think a lot of times, too, is that asking the locals, where do you guys go?
Exactly. I mean, New Orleans, the crawdads, the jambalaya, the chicken. Yes.
You want to know about places we've been that we suggest eating? Just
Willie
drop
Mae's
us a line.
Scotch House. So amazing, these places that we've stumbled into.
Yeah.
And like we said before, at Cocoa Beach.
When Ann sent us to.
She sent us to the Tiny Turtle.
Tiny Turtle.
It'll be popping up as I'm saying it, but that was an dinner.
Oh my God, the food was amazing.
Fusion dinner.
Yeah.
What was it?
And then
Caribbean fusion.
The only thing was in Elkhart. We ran across this Mexican restaurant.
Hole in the wall place still.
Yeah.
Really
the best
Mexican food in Elkhart,
Mexican food I have ever had. We went there, 2 or 3 times because of it. Oh my gosh.
I think we were just surprised that we found that in Elkhart.
Yeah.
But now, once again, we were at the
But Shipshawana was great.
As far as local food, that was that Amish thing. They had the fried pies.
Oh, Shipshawana. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, look for those places.
There's just a little outdoor stand.
Absolutely. You got to look for those that are not the
and we're not necessarily foodies per se. We just like good food. And we like to try, what are the locals?
Yeah,
what's
what do the
different?
locals do? And that was same thing, like with Philadelphia getting the Philly cheesesteak, not going to the place that everyone goes down at Gino's and that other place across the street.
Yeah.
But actually asking the locals, where do you go?
Yeah.
And we had them. That
was funny. We asked this guard that was standing there at one of the sites, and we said, "Okay, where do you go for Philly cheesesteak?"
But really interesting enough, I was at a conference like 10, 15 years ago in Philadelphia. And I asked a local then, and he sent me to the same place that this guy sent us to this time. So I thought, okay, that is the place, apparently. Because
when the reenactors come in to eat there, it's got to be good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have the reenactors there. So is there anything else you wanted to add to this mess?
Oh, my goodness. No. I think, the other thing I think that I would say was, like, when in Memphis, don't go to Elvis.
We didn't.
I'm sorry. We didn't.
It is it's overrated and overpriced.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry if you're an Elvis fan. I get it.
If you are an Elvis fan, spend the money, go. You're going to wish you had if you didn't. But if you're not an Elvis fan and you want to understand the history of the music in that area, it's not Graceland. No. It's Sun Records. It's Stax.
Yeah.
It's Beale Street.
Yeah.
It's all those places.
Elvis is great, and he's known for that. But like you said, if you want to know the true music of Memphis, go to those places.
Yes, that's where it's at.
And even if you go to Elvis, still go to those places.
Well, yeah, you got to do that.
Because
I would only advise Graceland if you are a super Elvis fan. And it's
really expensive.
That is. It's way more than it's worth, in my opinion.
You tell them we're not necessarily Elvis fans.
Yeah, and we got a dog walk. I'm going to have to get a shot of this. Anyway.
Atka, what are you doing? Atka?
Yeah, are you?
Hey, what are you trying to do, Atka? What are you trying to do?
So hopefully we can finish this up. I got this straight. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
All right. And it's rocking again. Don't bump. Don't bump.
So I got to say the one thing though is coming home. We had a lot of rain, but coming home it was pretty bad. So
all right. So we have a dog that really is bugging me here. So we're gonna need to. We probably should go.
She's sound asleep. Here's Sierra. There's Sierra right there. She's sound asleep.
She's been good.
She's been a good girl. She's dirty. She needs a bath.
One more thing I wanted to bring up, and I think we were pretty good about it this time around. Like I said, we only had a couple of long travel days, but keeping our travel day within how much fuel our truck holds.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, especially if you're towing in your diesel, it's so much. And I know there's people are I'm sure you're going to mention, but you can get a diesel card and you can pay the discounted prices.
Right.
We planned to do that, but we didn't do it this trip. We should have. But the fact that we were able to get from point A to point B, unhook, and then fuel up. and then before we hit the road again, fuel up the night before, and then next point A to point B.
And that way we don't have to worry about pulling, this big monster into a gas station.
So once again, I'm going to do a follow-up video on the Garmin, but that was invaluable.
Yeah.
That RV Garmin, kind of spoiler alert, that thing was awesome. We learned a lot of new tricks with it that I'm going to share in our follow-up video.
Yeah.
I think we should probably end it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and end it here.
I think Atka's saying we need to end it.
Yeah, I think he needs to go
Sierra
outside.
already fell asleep.
Anyways, so make sure you hit that subscription button.
And hit that bell, let you know when we post every Sunday at 2.
Thumbs up for good measure.
And don't forget Instagram, Facebook, and
our website. www.ourroadtocamelot.com.
Which I promise
we are so far behind.
I am going to be putting stuff on.
All right, and this is why we don't do very many live. We're trying not to ever do any live videos. We started rambling on even more, so I am going to really cut it here. Definitely, this has been a fun recap, but it is time to move on. So make sure that you tune in, safe travels, and we will see you on the road.